You see, there is a protocol called VLAN trunking protocol. Why do we call this as VLAN trunking protocol? Is it anything related to trunk encapsulation, VLAN encapsulation? No. We already learned that encapsulation protocol. One is ISL, which we don't use. Other one is .1Q. We learned this in the previous class. Only those two are called as trunking protocol. VTP is not a trunking protocol. Even though it says VLAN trunking protocol, this is not the one which is going to negotiate trunk. This is not a protocol which brings a trunk link. No. ISL and .1Q are the dynamic trunking protocol, DTP, dynamic trunking protocol, which we learned in the previous class. This is VTP, VLAN. So something related to VLAN trunk is involved in this protocol. When you have many switches, okay, assume that you have 40 switch and you got a computer here in VLAN 10. I created VLAN 10 on this switch and I assigned this port to VLAN 10. Likewise, on this switch, I created VLAN 10 and assigned this port in VLAN 10, and I got 10.0.0.1 IP address assume. There is no connection between this VLAN number and this 10. Okay, to avoid confusion, I'm saying 11. Now, my question to you is, will I be able to ping between A and B? No, why? No, we have same VLAN, no? VLAN 10, VLAN 10. Why, Santosh, why we cannot ping between A and B? Same VLAN only, no? Will they be able to ping between A and B? Oh, no, it's 10. So you say the ping will happen. Both of you agree. But the ping won't happen. Ping won't happen. Ping will not happen. Why? You see, this switch do not know about VLAN 10. No VLAN 10. Then if I send a packet, where will it receive it? Assume you configure trunk. Actually, you should configure trunk. That is another reason why the ping won't happen. You configure the trunk. So the link is ready to carry any VLAN, but when the switch send the packet out, it will send with the tag 10. When the second switch receives it, it says, hey, what is this 10? I do not know. I don't know what is VLAN 10. Boom, I drop. I don't know VLAN 10. And it drops. So what is the solution? You have to enable VLAN on all the switches in the path. So we configure VLAN 10 here, VLAN 10 here, and trunk here, trunk here, trunk here. Now if you ping from A to B, the ping will happen. The ping is going to ping. The ping will happen. Okay. Why am I taking this now? I want to tell you that you need VLANs on every switch. But going to all 40 switches, I asked you to consider that there are 40 switches between A and B computers. Going to each switch, creating this VLAN is a difficult task. It's a difficult task to go to every switch and create the VLAN. And later, if you want to delete the VLAN, then again you need to go to every switch and delete the VLAN, which is a difficult task. Sometimes what we'll do, instead of creating VLAN 10, accidentally we may put another 0. Human error is very common. So we need a protocol to replicate VLANs. We need a protocol to replicate VLANs. And that replicating VLAN is done by this protocol, VTP. What do I mean by replication? When I create here another VLAN 20, immediately, all the switches will get VLAN 20 created. You don't create. You just put it on one switch. It goes to all the switches. Now, what is the advantage here? Number one, we no need to go to all the switch. Number two, consistent VLAN database. Consistent VLAN database. Meaning, on all the switches, the VLAN database will be identical. See, human error, I told you sometime instead of 20, I may put 200. Then database won't be identical. But when a protocol distributes the VLAN, your database is going to be identical. So VTP replicates VLAN. And why are we calling it as VTP? Why it is called as VLAN trunking protocol? The reason is we need this trunk link. Without trunk link, the VLAN replication won't happen. Secondly, we also need to have a domain name. For example, if I give domain name ABC, I have to give domain name ABC on all the switches. The domain name is important for us. Why? Because you may have 100 switches in your organization, but you want only this 40 switch to have identical VLAN database. I repeat, you may have 100 switch. In that 100 switch, you want only 40 switch to have identical VLAN database. So how do you control the replication? The domain name. All those switches that has got same domain name, only to those switches the VLAN gets replicated. So if I don't have this domain name here, this VLAN 20 will not come here, and it won't come here also. You may say, no, look at this, I have a domain. No, even though you have a domain name, this guy don't have domain name, so it cannot pass the VTP packet because this guy has got no permission to receive the packet sent by ABC domain. Because the third switch belongs to no domain, it cannot receive the packet coming from domain ABC. So if it cannot receive, then how it will pass it to 4, switch 4? Not possible. So what I'm trying to say is, you need to have the same domain name. And if I don't want the VLAN to get replicated in this direction, then don't put the domain name here. You may have trunk because you got multiple VLANs, but you do not want the replication. You do not want the replication. Then don't put domain name. So when I create VLAN 10, 20, VLAN 10, 20, the VLAN 10, 20 will come to these switches that are where the domain names are same. It won't go to this direction. No, it won't go because there is no member in the domain there attached. I repeat, VTP is a replication protocol. What it replicates? VLANs. So any switch you go and create one or many VLANs, those VLANs will get replicated instantly to all the switches. Condition: trunk link should be between the switch. Secondly, the domain name need to be same between the switch. Two conditions, two constraints: domain name and trunk link. That is why it is called as VLAN trunking protocol. Only when you have trunk link with the same domain name on the switch, the VLANs get replicated. I'm going to demonstrate this. But before that, do you have question? Okay, what is the purpose of VTP? What's the purpose of VTP? Can you explain? Why do we need this protocol VTP? Can anyone explain? Yes, I'm checking how much you understood. Don't mind. Okay. Okay. நான் தமிழ்ல சொல்றேன் ஒரு முறை. 100 சுவிட்சில் 40 சுவிட்சுக்கு ஒரே மாதிரி வீலனை நம்ம போய் கன்ஃபிகர் பண்ணணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டா அந்த 40 சுவிட்சுக்கும் நம்ம போயிட்டு இருக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. இந்த விடிபி புரோட்டோகால் மட்டும் நம்ம ஒரே மாதிரி டொமைன் நேமை கொடுத்து இந்த 40 சுவிட்சில் எனேபிள் பண்ணிட்டோம்னு சொன்னா, அதே போல சுவிட்சுக்கு இடையில இருக்கிற லிங்க்ஸ்ல ட்ரங்க் லிங்க் கன்ஃபிகர் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா, ஒரு சுவிட்சில் நீங்க கிரியேட் பண்ற வீலனே போதும், அது எல்லா சுவிட்சுக்கும் பரவிடும். அதுக்கு தான் இந்த விடிபி தேவை. உதாரணத்துக்கு நம்ம 4 சுவிட்சிங் எடுத்துருக்கிறோம். இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டரோட பேச வைக்கணுன்றது நம்மளுடைய ஆசை. இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல 10.0.0.1 ஐபி அட்ரஸ் கொடுத்துட்டேன். இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல 10.0.0.2 ஐபி அட்ரஸ் கொடுத்துட்டேன். அடுத்ததா இந்த இன்டர்ஃபேஸ்ல நான் VLAN 100 கன்ஃபிகர் பண்ண போறேன். VLAN 100, VLAN 100. So we got 4 switches and we are going to have these 2 computers in same VLAN called VLAN 100. If I configure that VLAN 100 on this first switch and the last switch, that is not sufficient. You need to configure on all switches. But practically, it is difficult because you have 40 switches. In our example, I just show 4 switches here. Assume your network is too big and you got too many switches and you feel difficult and if you are looking for a protocol, then VTP is the best option. VTP is to replicate VLANs. It will automatically replicate the VLAN. Now, you see, what is needed for that? I need a trunk on all this link. Let's go and configure trunk on all this link and the path. I'm on switch 1. Interface F0/1 is a trunk link. Switch port mode, trunk. Trunk is configured. Likewise, I'm going to go to switch 2 and I'm going to put trunk on these 2 links. If you want to configure on multiple interfaces, multiple ports, then you need to put range command, interface range F0/1-2, switch port mode trunk. Next. Likewise, switch 3 and switch 4, I'm going to configure. And last switch on F01, I have to configure. No, there is no limitation. I just took example as 40. You can have 400 switches, 4,000 switches, that doesn't matter. Now, we got the trunk configured on all the switches. Secondly, what is needed is domain name. All right, what is needed next is BTP. Please focus, I have configured trunk. 2 main constraints for a VTP to work is you need to have a common domain name. Secondly, you need to have trunk. I have configured trunk on all the links that are in between the switches. Do I have trunk on the link where the computer is connected? No. There's going to be access. There's going to be access VLAN 100. Anyway, we have not created VLAN 100, so I have not gone to the access port yet. I would like to configure domain name for VTP. VTP domain name or VTP domain, anything that you like. SAN. You see, earlier the domain name was null, but now it has been changed to SAN. Usually the SAN will get, even the SAN name will get replicated to the immediate switch, but it is a good practice to go and configure it manually. VTP domain SAN. You see, it says it was already set. All right. Now, only to the immediate switch it gets created, not to the switch one hop away. VTP domain SAN. Okay. Now, what is next? I want to verify. Please verify by typing show VTP status. You see, VTP status, right now, VTP version 1 is running. You know, the popular version is version 2. So I'm going to switch to version 2. Before that, I would like to show you a few more things. The domain name is SAN. The domain name is SAN. How many VLANs are there? 5. Huh? 5? How? This is how. Show VLAN brief. I told you VLAN 1 is default. But even though these VLANs are not supported, earlier in some class, I told you, these 4 VLANs plus that one VLAN is 5 there. Even though these 4 VLANs are unsupported, as per the standard, for all switch operating system, these VLANs should be there. That's why it is there. As per the standard, this need to be there. That is why it is there. All right. Now, totally 5 VLANs, which means if you see 5, it means no VLANs created by us so far. When you create some VLAN, the revision number will get incremented. Not only when you create VLAN, whenever you do some changes to the VLAN database, the revision number will increment only. ஐயா நான் VLAN create பண்ணா increase ஆகும். VLAN delete பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும்? அப்பயும் increase தான் ஆகும். குறையாது. Whenever you do changes to VLAN database, the change may be creating a VLAN or deleting a VLAN. The revision number will always keep growing. So what is the connection, or why is that so important? We'll talk about that a bit later. Revision number is very important. We'll talk about it a bit later. Now, I do not want version 1 to be there. I would like to change to version 2. How do we change it? That's all. Now check the status. You see, immediately the revision number is changed. Why? Because I have changed the revision number. Sorry, the version number. Immediately the VLAN database, which is connected to this VTP protocol, got disturbed. Okay, let us go and check the other switch. Show VLAN VTP status. You can see the surprise here. You know how this also got version 2? Because you already have trunk and domain name same. So when you do changes on one switch, it will impact all the switches. Even on switch 3, it will be there, version 2. Look at, it didn't come. No problem. See, it's a simulator. You cannot expect 100%. VTP status, sorry, VTP version 2. Okay, let us go and check switch 4 now. Okay, it is here, distributed. Okay, now this protocol aim is not to distribute revision number or version number. Aim is to distribute VLAN. We need to verify that, very important. VLAN replicate ஆகுதாங்கிறது பார்க்கறதுக்கு தான் நம்ம வந்துமே ஒழிய வெர்ஷன் நம்பர் ரிப்ளிகேட் ஆகுதான்றது அது ஆப்ஷனல். அது ஆச்சுன்னா சந்தோஷம், ஆளுனா நம்ம பண்ணிட்டோம். இப்போ நம்ம VLAN கிரியேட் பண்ணோம்னா it should get replicated if you create VLAN. Let's verify whether that is happening or not. Please pay attention. Right now the existing VLAN is only 5. Show VLAN brief. Now I'm going to create VLAN 100, VLAN 200, VLAN 300. I created 3 VLANs. What was the revision number earlier? It was 1. How many changes I made? 3. So it should have grown to 4 now. Yes. And earlier, the existing VLANs were 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay. Oh no, why is the version 1? Whatever. Let's go and check. I don't know why the version is 1. Now, verify. 8 VLANs. Revision number is 4. Now, let's see the magic. Show VLAN brief. Look at this. I did not create this VLAN on the switch. I created these VLANs on switch 1 and I can see it on switch 2. Let's go and verify that same on switch 3. Show VLAN brief. Let's go and check it on switch 4. Show VLAN brief. Okay, creating VLANs. Successfully done on all switches dynamically. Show VTP status. You can see that existing VLAN 8 and revision number is 4. Now, I'm going to delete one of the VLAN in one of the switch. Listen carefully. I created VLANs on switch 1. I'm trying to delete that VLAN on switch 4. Will that happen? Yes. You see? What are the VLANs I created? 100, 200, 300. I'm going to delete all of them. No VLAN 100, gone. Now the revision number would have incremented to 5. No VLAN 200. Revision number would have incremented to 6. No VLAN 300. 7. Let's go and verify. Show VTP status. You see, revision number has increased to 7. And I deleted 3 VLAN. Earlier it was 8 VLAN, now it is 5 VLAN. And if you check now, show VTP status, show VLAN brief, there is no VLANs because I deleted all of them. But it was created where? On switch 1. That is very important for you to remember. You should know this. What you can create on one switch and you can delete it on another switch, no problem. Now, I'll go and check it on switch 2. Earlier switch 2 was having these 3 VLANs, but now, oh, it's still there. That's very bad. Oh, wait, it should not be there. In switch 3, let's check. Okay, in switch 3, it is deleted. You see, it's a simulated environment. It's not working proper, but uh, it's okay for a simulation. In the EVE, which I use another tool, right, there it will work very accurate. Let me try again here. Here, the revision number is 4. I'm trying to say no VLAN 100, and then I'll come and see the revision number 5. 6. And now I'm going to create some VLAN. So VLAN 800, VLAN 700, VLAN 400. And now show VLAN brief here. I can see 300, 400, 500, sorry, 300, 400, 700, 800. Let us now go to the last switch and see. Last switch, not switch 1, switch 4. Hello, switch 4. What do you have? Let's go and check. Bye-bye. It's coming. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it breaks in the middle, you know. I did these changes on switch 1, and I can see the changes on switch 4 successfully. Let me do one more change. I want to give a name to this. It is given a default name. I want to give another name, but I will do it on switch 2. All right, on switch 2, I'll give a name. Let's see whether that name gets replicated. VLAN 800 name Nuru. Let's see. In switch 2, it will be there. Show VLAN brief, it will be there, no doubt. But I want to know whether the VTP will replicate on other switches. Let us check in switch 1. Wow, it's replicated. Let's go and check it on switch 4. Oh, it is. So even changing the name is going to modify the database. Whenever a modification happens, the revision number increments. When a revision number increments, the update will be generated and sent. And the receiving switch will compare the local revision number with the incoming revision number. If the incoming revision number is bigger, then the receiving switch will forget all that is there in the database and it will simply copy what is coming in. It's too much, you know. Let me put it in Tamil. ஒரு வீலனை கிரியேட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா முன்னால ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் 5 இருந்துச்சுன்னா இப்போ 6ன்னு ஆகும். ஆனா இங்க என்ன இருக்குது, 5 தான் இருக்குது. அப்போ 6ன்னு ஆனதும் ஒரு விடிபி அப்டேட் போகும். நீங்க VLAN 30 கிரியேட் பண்ணும்போது 6ன்னு ஆச்சா, அப்போ VLAN 10, 20, 30 இந்த டேட்டா பேஸை வைத்துக்கொண்டு ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் 6ஐ வைத்துக்கொண்டு போகும். இந்த சுவிட்ச் என்ன பண்ணும், ரிசீவ் பண்ணி முதல்ல ரிவிஷன் நம்பரை பார்க்கும் 6. ஆனா எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் 5. அப்ப என்ன தெரியுமா பண்ணும், என்னுடைய ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் கம்மின்னு சொன்னா இந்த டேட்டா பேஸ் அப்படியே மொத்தத்தையும் அழைச்சிட்டு என்ன வருதோ, ஹையர் ரிவிஷன் நம்பரோட என்ன வருதோ அதை அப்படியே காப்பி பண்ணி தன்னுடைய டேட்டா பேஸ்க்கு மாத்திக்கும். அது மட்டும் இல்லாம அதனுடைய ரிவிஷன் நம்பரையும் 6ன்னு மாத்திக்கும். அடுத்ததா இந்த அப்டேட் அடுத்த சுவிட்சுக்கு போகும், அடுத்த சுவிட்சும் அப்படியே பண்ணும். இப்படிதான் ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் வச்சுதான் வருகிற அப்டேட் லேட்டஸ்டா இல்லையா அப்படிங்கறத தெரிஞ்சுக்கும். If the incoming revision number of the VTP packet is higher, then I have to forget my database, erase my database, and copy all that is coming. If the VTP revision number is same, then I'll ignore. You understood? 9